Welcome to another deep dive. Today, we're exploring a truly fascinating question. What if the very rain falling on your roof could, well, help power your home?
It sounds a bit like science fiction, doesn't it? But
Yeah.
it's becoming a real area of research. We're looking at how places like Allentown, Pennsylvania, are potentially becoming test beds.
Right, using their, frequent rain and cloud cover as an actual energy source.
Exactly. It's a shift in thinking.
Okay, so our source for this deep dive is a white paper focused on rain-powered solar panels in Allentown. Our mission today: really unpack this tech, look at its viability, and, understand its potential impact.
Let's get into it.
So to understand this idea, this rain-powered home concept, we first need to set the scene, and that takes us to Allentown, Pennsylvania.
A place that definitely knows rain.
Yeah, they average only about 179 sunny days a year. That's a real challenge for traditional solar panels, right?
Absolutely. The source material points out that a standard 6 kilowatt system nearby, in Philadelphia, I think it was, saw its output drop by a staggering 40% during rainy weeks.
Wow, 40%. That really highlights the need for something more consistent, doesn't it? Especially in climates like Allentown's.
It does. And Allentown gets what, around 43.3 inches of rain annually? Combine that with sort of lower daily peak sun hours, and it creates this almost perfect test bed for hybrid systems.
Hybrid systems meaning solar plus rain harvesting.
Precisely. Systems that can bridge those energy gaps when the sun isn't shining. We're already seeing hints of this synergy, actually.
Oh, like what?
Well, think about Tesla's Stormwatch feature in places like Eastern PA. It proactively precharges home batteries when heavy rain is forecast.
Ah, anticipating the solar dip. Okay.
Exactly. So the key insight here is turning that perceived weakness, the rain, into an opportunity for more consistent power generation.
Okay, so if traditional solar struggles in the rain, what's the leap forward? How do you actually capture energy from raindrops? This is where it gets really interesting, I think.
It really does. The core innovation is something called a triboelectric nanogenerator. Bit of a mouthful?
Tinning, for short.
Ting, yeah. Researchers are layering this Tang material literally right on top of conventional solar cells.
Layering it on top. Okay, so break down triboelectric nanogenerator for us.
Sure. Triboelectric basically means generating electricity through friction, like static electricity, rubbing a balloon on your hair.
Got it.
And nanogenerator tells you we're operating at a tiny, tiny scale, the nanoscale.
So how does rain trigger it?
Well, when raindrops hit the Tang's top layer, often a polymer called polydimethylsiloxane, or PDMS.
PDMS, like a flexible silicone.
Exactly like that. The impact causes electrons to transfer, creating a charge. It can generate up to 2.14 volts per single drop.
Per drop. That's
Yeah.
fascinating. And this directly tackles solar's weak spot, cloudy, rainy days.
Precisely. It's designed to work when solar isn't at its peak. And early versions also use graphene.
Graphene, how did that work?
It reacted with ions in the rainwater itself to create tiny microcurrents. Now, the really promising developments are hybrid models.
Combining Tang and graphene.
Yeah. Those have achieved efficiencies around 14%. And that 14% isn't just a number. It shows how combining different nanomaterials might, unlock new ways to generate renewable energy. It's not just about one solution anymore.
Okay, the tech sounds really promising. But let's talk economics. What does this actually mean for your wallet? Adding these tenon layers can't be free.
No, it's not. The sources suggest it could bump up the cost of a typical 5 kilowatt solar system, which already runs, $11,500 to maybe $2,100 after incentives,
Right.
by an additional 15 to 20%. Now, federal tax credits might help offset some of that, but it is an upfront cost increase.
15 to 20% is significant. But what about the return on investment? Does generating power on rainy days help pay it back faster?
That's the fascinating part, economically speaking. The potential ROI. Despite the higher initial cost, these hybrid systems could actually shorten the typical payback period, usually 9 or 10 years, by maybe 2 or even 3 years.
Because you're generating more often.
Exactly. Because of that rainy day generation. Think about it.
Oh.
A standard solar setup might get you, say, 90% grid independence. Adding Tenkins could push a system, maybe a slightly larger 7.2 kilowatt one, potentially closer to 100% independence.
Near 100%. That really maximizes savings and boosts energy resilience, doesn't it?
That's the potential upside, yes.
Okay, that economic potential sounds great, especially for independence. But like any new tech, there must be hurdles, right?
Yeah.
What are the practical roadblocks?
Oh, definitely. There are quite a few. For instance, Pennsylvania's fire codes have rules about roof setbacks, how close panels can be to the edge.
And these Tang panels don't fit those rules easily.
They might complicate things, yeah.
Yeah.
Plus, Allentown's local zoning codes don't really have provisions for this kind of, well, experimental tech yet. Getting permits could be tricky.
Okay, zoning and codes. What else?
And then there's net metering, the
Yeah.
policies that let you sell excess solar power back to the grid.
Right.
They currently don't include credits for electricity harvested specifically from rain, so you wouldn't get paid for that extra power.
Ugh, policy hasn't caught up with the tech yet. Makes sense. What about technical limitations? You said volts per drop, but how much power is that really?
Yeah, that's a key question. Tenjis currently produce current in the nanoampere range.
Nanoamperes. How small is that?
Incredibly small. Your smartphone uses millions of nanoamperes just to operate. So a single panel isn't generating grid-level power. You'd need really large arrays.
Okay, so scale is a big challenge. Anything else?
Durability is another one, that PDMS layer. It can degrade after about 18 months or so, especially with UV exposure from the sun.
So replacements or improvements needed there? And are installers even offering this?
Well, not yet, at least not in Allentown, according to the source. There's a significant market readiness gap right now.
Okay, so hurdles, codes, zoning, net metering, low current, durability, no installers yet. Despite all that, is research moving forward?
Absolutely. Researchers are working on things like detang arrays, designed more like solar farms to amplify the output,
Interesting.
and even things like flexible roofing shingles with TENS integrated right into them.
Wow, shingles that generate power from rain.
That's the idea. And the white paper suggests some obvious next steps. Expanding government incentives to actually include rain harvesting tech and, updating those building codes.
So clearing the path for innovation.
Exactly. This deep dive really shows how innovations like this rain-powered solar concept could potentially transform precipitation from just a nuisance into a real energy asset for places like Allentown.
And maybe set a benchmark for other temperate, cloudier regions too.
Could be. It genuinely changes the conversation about what renewable energy can even mean.
It definitely raises a huge question. Could a cloudy, rainy day eventually be just as valuable energy-wise as a bright, sunny one for your home?
That really is the ultimate question, isn't it? And thinking about that, for you listening, what's the most striking part of potentially turning rain from a hindrance into a genuine energy asset?